What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark, macthemovieguy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about Ballard Season 1. This is available on Amazon with audio description. It is a spin-off, technically, of Bosch Legacy, which is a spin-off of Bosch, so it's a spin-off of a spin-off. These were things that were written by Michael Connolly, who also is the writer of The Lincoln Lawyer. I always wonder, like, are they going to bring them together? Because there's a book that reveals that Bosch and The Lincoln Lawyer are related. They're brothers. So I wonder, because we have Amazon and Netflix, if that's ever going to be possible with them being across different streaming services. Anyway, so Ballard is the new thing because Bosch has been running for a while now, and it's got training wheels, which means it's got Titus Welliver popping up in it and some other former Bosch cast members to help Ballard get going in season 1. I would be surprised if Amazon didn't move forward with a season 2. Maggie Q plays Renee Ballard. She also appeared in an episode of Bosch towards the end of the season of Bosch Legacy to help spin off her character. And then she gets her own little gang of misfit police officers, sort of like Bosch had, Crate and Barrel and all the other ones. So notably John Carroll Lynch, who I actually really like as an actor and I adore. And I was so worried because he gets typecast a lot as a villain. And I did this thing, this is sort of like a spoiler, but also not really a spoiler because he is actually just who he's playing. And it's not like a trick or a trap. But I was so worried because he plays basically like her partner, like an old partner who comes into this case to help her because she's like, I don't know who I can trust. And I was like, oh God, it's John Carroll Lynch. This dude plays a lot of villains. I was like, is this going to be a casting thing? There was a show recently, Untamed, where casting ruined it for me. And I gave that a rotten score on the tomato meter because casting, guys, like casting. It's funny because we have this Oscar coming up. It's the Oscar for Best Casting. And there are some of these things where it's like casting. If your big surprise reveal to me is that the villain is played by an actor who's been around the whole time, but it's also an actor who like always plays a villain. It's sort of like watching Sean Bean die in a movie, and you're like, okay, well this is a gag, and we always we just keep doing. Sean Bean just dies in movies, like this is what he does. Some people just play villains, and that's what they do. So it's nice when they don't play it because they need more of those roles to balance out the ones where they play villains. And so it's nice to have John Carroll Lynch playing a good guy. And I like that for him. Like, that's one of my favorite things about Ballard. But the rest of it's just kind of a crime procedural. It's like Bosch, which I liked Bosch. I didn't love Bosch. It was like my favorite series of all time. I watched all the way through of the original series and Legacy. So there's something to be said for that. But it's never going to be something where I'm like, oh my God, Emmy consideration, please. But it does tell a pretty consistent, solid story. And Ballard tells a pretty consistent, solid story. She's got a case where she's, eventually they find out that cops are involved, and it's like, oh my God, you mean our own? She also has to deal with the fact that the script has saddled her with a sexual assault by another police officer, and it's one that she wasn't believed. Like, they didn't believe her, so he just gets to walk around like everything's okay. Which leads to, she finds out somebody else was sexually assaulted. So, this guy is just a walking douchebag, and that becomes a thing that we focus on all season and will bleed into season 2 because of the way that season 1 ends. Sort of the ramifications of all of that. So, I don't mind girl bosses. I don't. I like them. I like them and I like when they're done well. There's something about the way that they try to balance Renee Ballard here that doesn't quite work for me with the whole I'm a badass, hard-nosed detective, and then she has these weird scenes where she has to talk about dating, and there are two sides to the coin. There's like I've definitely seen cop shows where it's like two dudes riding in a car and they're like, "Oh, what do you think about this girl? I don't know," and they're just shooting the shit. So like, why couldn't uh, a, woman and a guy do the same thing? And I get that, but it's not the same thing. Like the way that they handle the conversation isn't the shooting the shit type conversation. It's more like, well, how do you date as a female cop? You know, what is it to you? Like, I'm like, I don't know. This can we have more of the other? Like, she ends up having to do these sort of like they're trying to walk her back a little bit. Like, we've listened to too many people on YouTube groan about girl bosses and strong female leads, and we're like, I don't know, we got to figure out a way to make her a little bit more feminine. Maybe we'll put her in a dress at some point or have her cook a meal. You know, it's just like, can't she just be a cop, like a detective? This is a detective show. Mariska Hargitay doesn't have to put up with this shit. You know, like, can we just model her after that? So I had a little bit of a disappointment in that regard because I would have loved to see more of that from Ballard. Just I don't need that bullshit. There's a crime, there's a mystery here. I really don't care what her dating life is. Just like I didn't care who Bosch was dating. Towards the beginning of the series, it was important because his wife was a character, or ex-wife or whatever, for like the first two seasons. Uh, Maybe it was one. I can't remember of the first Bosch. I think it was two though. But it's not like Bosch went out on like a lot of dates and was constantly hooking up with people. That wasn't his vibe. So I don't know why that has to be Ballard's vibe. It's also really not the Lincoln Lawyer's vibe either, for being really honest. It's just not something that Michael Connelly does a lot of. So I don't know why it's here. It's just not a thing that seems to be at the core value of his. So anyway, uh, just let Maggie Q do Maggie Q shit. Like she's been doing like action TV lead stuff. You know, I mean, Queen Latifah on The Equalizer, basically she just gets to be, you know, a strong female lead, and she got to do that for 5 seasons before CBS canceled that series. So I feel like Maggie Q's got 5 seasons of doing Renee Ballard before she should have to worry about, you know, her dating life. Uh, I mean, there was always kind of that cop that the Latifah was flirting with on Equalizer, that kind of like will they or won't they situation. But the flirting was so low key in between those two. It was like the will they or won't they was going to come like in the finale, basically. So, yeah, watch it. Don't watch Ballard. But if you like crime procedurals, I think you'll like it. The audio description is solid, just like the audio description for Bosch Legacy and Bosch are solid. Everything is solid. It's all good. But I thought Ballard was fine, and I liked it, and I'm positive on it. I'm giving it a 7.2 out of 10. That's a fresh on the tomato meter. So let me know what you think about Bosch in the comments, and I will see you guys on the other side. Or Ballard, or the Lincoln Lawyer, or Michael Connelly, or Maggie Q, or Titus Welliver, or anything. Just talk to me in the comments. I'm thirsty. Anyway, bye. Bye.